I think there is a risk of ADHD both being overdiagnosed and underdiagnosed at the same time. Because of the nature of the diagnosis, in that it just involves a clinical interview, I think there is a risk of the assessor not asking in-depth enough questions, not getting enough examples or context from a person's life, not getting enough concrete examples of impairment when they're interviewing someone who potentially might have ADHD. I think it is possible that diagnoses can be given out too easily. At the same time, I also think there's a risk of underdiagnosis and under-recognition. I think for many people who are experiencing these symptoms, it can take them a long time to try and figure out what's going on. It can take a long time for health professionals like their GP to recognize what's happening with them, and a long time for them to reach the point of an assessment or potential diagnosis. So what I would say is, if you think you're experiencing symptoms suggestive of ADHD, if you live in the UK, your first port of call would be your GP, who would be able to direct you to the appropriate specialist services to get you a thorough assessment. And when you are undergoing that assessment, I would advise any patient to make sure that that assessment is indeed thorough, that the person assessing them is asking in-depth questions about their lives, about their experiences, is getting that important information about different examples where different things go wrong or different signs of impairment, and is definitely doing an in-depth mental health history, medical history, family history, history of things like school and work, to make sure they're doing a comprehensive assessment. And if you feel that the assessment was a little bit shallow or lacking in some depth, it might be worth getting a repeat assessment or a second opinion. That being said, for many people I see who have been struggling with these issues for a long time, the diagnosis itself can be incredibly therapeutic, as it's finally an explanation for the variety of problems that the person has had for their whole lives, often problems which are seemingly unconnected. Like, it's not that obvious why someone would have problems with reading, needing to read things over and over again, but also problems with organizing, but also problems with fidgeting, restlessness, or impulsive decisions. And a diagnosis like ADHD can finally give someone a bit of an explanation as to why they've been experiencing so many difficulties for so long, and importantly can also give them a bit of a roadmap to some potential solutions.